Welcome to Chapter 1, Base Camp. This video explores the architecture of constraints, focusing on the structural necessity of Perelman, Planck, and the sphere and cube concept. Rationality is framed as an operating system, not just a feeling. Rationality is not a vibe. Historically, major technological and scientific feats were built on shared operating systems, not faith or feelings. Planet-scale systems require a shared operating system, not just stories. We must check our gear before tackling major problems like the clay homework.
You cannot measure the unbounded. Summing to infinity without a boundary violates causality. We require a container for truth. To ascend, we must first define the pixel size of reality. This is the physics of observation. Measurement is an active pinching, requiring reference points to surround the data. Without grounds, you cannot distinguish signal from noise. We address the speed limit of logic through this equation. Informational sufficiency must be greater than or equal to 1. If m is less than 1, you define a location smaller than the universe's pixel size, violating causality.
Reality has a pixel size, known as the Planck length. This is the point where the measurement horseshoe closes. We cannot predict below the floor of coherence, setting a limit based on quantum uncertainty and gravitational curvature. We move from physics to topology. To trap the infinite potential of a sphere within a measurable cube, we need topological closure. Planck sets the limit of scale, and Perelman sets the limit of shape.
The sphere and cube is a binding. The sphere represents infinite potential, and the cube is the measurement constraint. In three-dimensional space, 6 constraints are required to trap the infinite, a topological necessity.
Boundedness plus symmetry equals structure. Perelman proved that a closed 3D space with no holes must be a sphere. To predict a prime, we must force the infinite number line into this measurable shape.
The trilemma principle outlines the non-negotiable rules of Basecamp: boundedness, symmetry, and conservation. These 3 elements form the basis for coherence.
This is the informational number field, or INF, the lattice of truth. It represents a finite geometry binding the infinite, built upon 0/1 duality, recursive shell expansion, and clockwise spiral traversal.
The informational Planck constant, represented by epsilon of n, defines the irreducible uncertainty. Error is the cost of binding the infinite, the slack required for the system to breathe. We achieve predictive coherence with 3.75 times compression. We only check the sphere inside the cube, not every number. This is not a curve fit. It is a structural necessity. This graph illustrates the Surft asymptote. When the slack vanishes, truth remains. We invoke the law of large numbers as a structural requirement.
We are now ready for the ascent. We have defined constraints, established the trilemma, and quantified the error. Chapter 1 is complete. We can now proceed to the Millennium Problems.